Hi there, my name is Mel. While my channel does concentrate a lot on technical and science, I also will discuss religion and politics. Now, I'm an atheist. I want people to understand what an atheist is. It is someone that says anything but yes when they asked if you believe in a God. So if you say, do you believe in a God? You say no or I don't know, then you are an atheist. Now you can have various levels of confidence with that. You can have various levels of understanding of that. And it could change depending on the God definition you're given. Now, agnosticism is knowledge. So depending on the God definition, I am both an agnostic and an atheist. Okay, I'm an agnostic atheist. While I don't have any knowledge of that particular God, I don't believe it. And that is, for me, because that the claim given does not reach a level that I can believe in. Now, I don't believe you can choose what you believe in, so that the evidence is not reaching the threshold of belief for me. Now, I tend to not try to denigrate people's religious or other experiences, but what you believe and why in terms of everything, you should be skeptical of everything. And what you believe and why is really important, because look, many of your behaviours and things you'll do are based on beliefs of some sort. And it's important as well to acknowledge that atheists, apart from not having God belief, they believe in vastly different things, okay? So I don't know of many atheists say that the universe began from absolutely nothing, even though many apologists claim that we do. I know of no atheist that claims that. Certainly don't know of any scientists that claim that. While Lawrence Krauss, and don't even get me started with that guy, because please, did make a universe from nothing, he didn't mean absolute philosophical nothing, which, look, as far as I can determine, is not even possible anyway. And look, you can be perfectly moral, have a perfectly good life without believing in gods. Morality is usually based on the fact that we are a social species. It should be based on empathy, compassion. We shouldn't just have rules or laws based for rules or laws' sake. They should be able to, protect people. They should be able to help us work together. We shouldn't be following laws or rules because you believe some sort of God or a religious scripture dictated it to you. We don't kill, and why it's wrong to kill is because it causes harm to others, and harm meaning something that's detrimental. Look, I don't know of too many people that would like to be killed, okay? And so if you can relate that, maybe I don't want to be killed. So if I go and kill others, they might kill me, or they might kill someone in my family. And also too, killing people never ends. So if you kill some people, they'll kill some of your people, you kill some of theirs more, and it ends up a vicious circle. So killing and murder is usually not something that is beneficial. Now, we do in the law have different standards. So if it's cold-blooded murder, is it manslaughter? Or is it something that happened that couldn't be helped? Like you might have had a car accident that was of no fault to you, and unfortunately somebody died. Now, yes, they were killed, but did you kill them? They might have died as a result of the accident. Or someone breaks into your home and is going to hurt someone in your home, like a child or a baby or a partner or parents, to protect someone else. Now, hopefully you can protect yourself or someone else without killing them, but sometimes, and unfortunately sometimes, that might result. Now, depending on did you try and use any other measures, what would you be charged with? So we do understand that there's no objective morality here. We do understand that it's always situational. Okay, and a lot of people try to want objective morality. So if we make the objective that of well-being and welfare of sentient creatures. And I say that because it's not just human beings. We've got to care for other sentient beings, which are usually dolphins, whales, other apes, because we're apes, and also other species. We've got to care for the earth because we live here. We're dependent on it. Okay, so atheists don't all have the same beliefs. They have different views and they vote for different parties. And I think it's really important to say that, like, evolution, biological evolution, has nothing to do with atheism. Nothing. Biological evolution is a fact. It's got zilch, zero, nada to do with atheists or atheism. Okay, atheism is just a position, a single position on a single issue. And I really want all of us as a society, as a human society, as a world society, to be able to have discussions on what we should and should not do and how we should operate without sort of like flinging sort of accusations back and forth of immorality and what we should not and should not do. Now, I think for the most part, and this is my view, not every atheist view, my view, that we should allow people options, especially over their own bodies, full body control, unless we see a reason to prohibit it. Okay, so obviously I am very pro-choice because I think it is not something that someone else should tell someone else that they have to or should not go through with a pregnancy. Okay, pregnancy can be very damaging. It can be very good. So I think we should provide support services so people can choose, and I don't think we should be showing images of fetuses or babies and anything like that. I mean, people should be able to make a logical decision based on their own circumstances, and I think we can help them, but not by, moralizing to them, not by saying. And I mean, the thing is, like having comprehensive sex ed for all kids would be a way to help maybe reducing abortion statistics, just saying. So look, there's no issue on which we should, as I said, I'm not in favour of limiting rights unless there's a good reason not to. I am not a libertarian. I want to say that. I think libertarianism is really debunked, and I won't go into this here. But also too, I think in terms of an atheist, we can have different, all sorts of, the atheists who believe in the supernatural. Some atheists are incredibly spiritual. Some atheists can believe in all sorts of other stuff. They just don't believe in a God. So I think it's really, if you want to know what an atheist thinks, do not pretend to say what all atheists think, or that we are somehow angry with a God, or our life really sucks and we've got really depressing points of view. That's not all atheists. Some people who may or may not be atheists might have dark images of life. Now, the world today is pretty scary, and there's a lot of really not so good things going on. The genocide in Gaza, the slaughter that's happening in Sudan, the war in Ukraine, affordability, the power disparation and the money and resources between the wealthy and the poor, the homelessness problem in many countries, persecution that's happened to many. So the world is a very sort of a place that can be quite hard to deal with. And I think that for all people, whatever circumstance they're in, we offer empathy and compassion. Okay? Now, also to people, and this is not just atheists, all people, any person can suffer depression. And there's various types of depression and various degrees of depression. And this is not just an atheist thing. This is across the board. And rather than really make, like say, all atheists are all really narcissistic, depressed, which is really being ableist against people who do have genuine mental health issues. And again, it's compassion, empathy, providing them with medical care, free medical care, free also any medication they need, free counselling, free services, you know. I think that we make the world better by helping each other, not by making accusations or hurting each other. And what worries me, I see some apologists for different religions, and some of these people are the worst, is how they constantly misrepresent and strawman repeatedly and, quite honestly, in my opinion, lie through their teeth about atheists or about science or about anything else. They lie. And, like, I hope I would never say all Christians do X or all Christians believe X, because I know that's not true. Or all Muslims do or believe X, or any other group for that matter. Okay, so it is not helpful. So you look at a lot of these apologies to come down saying stuff about atheists, and quite honestly, all the stuff that's say on YouTube, quite honestly, like in my very humble opinion, they are lying through the teeth. Now, I don't know everything. I know only a tiny little amount, okay? But I can only operate off what I do know. So I don't know if a God is even possible or impossible. How would I even judge that? On what basis would I say that a particular God is possible or impossible? So possibility is not something that I can even discuss, because I don't even know how I would be able to judge that. Or plausible even. How can you just say something's plausible before you decided if it's possible or in fact exists? Now, if you do believe in some kind of God, creator, divine being, divine spark, whatever you believe in, higher power, okay, I honestly don't care. I do care what people do. And bigotry against LGBTQIA plus people that is primarily driven by religion has got to stop. That is not okay by my book. Okay, that is not okay, because I'm gender fluid, trans, and I definitely do not agree that any kind of bigotry, I don't care what your books say, that you should not be making people who are gay, lesbian, bi, trans, asexual, any of that, feel unsafe. They should have rights. Okay, they should be recognised and treated with respect in every country. Okay, there are about 10 or 11 countries, probably 13, I think, that being an atheist isn't even an option. Or being public with it, at least. And that's not fair either, because people have got to be able to believe or not believe whatever they like. And again, I don't think belief is a choice, but if people all of a sudden, if they go through an investigation and decide for themselves that their beliefs are not justified, then they should be able to deconvert. Okay, and apostasy and heresy, are they all these? That's just like, people should be able to discuss things without everyone jumping on them. Now, it doesn't mean you have to agree. It just means, okay, they get to have that viewpoint. Okay, I don't believe Muhammad was a prophet. And in a lot of countries, that would probably either get me executed or whipped or driven out, to say the least. Okay, and I'm not saying all Muslims are like this, but in Islamic fundamentalist countries, definitely are. Okay? I don't believe Muhammad was a prophet. I don't particularly believe Jesus even existed. Well, I don't care if he did or didn't, quite honestly. I am not convinced that Jesus existed. But a lot of people think he did. And, like, okay, I'm not, but if they are, good for them. It's not something, I mean, I've gone into it and the evidence just doesn't convince me. I don't know why it doesn't convince me, but it doesn't. Okay? But this is my position, not every atheist position. A lot of atheists will accept that Jesus existed, or probably did. But, like, I think that it's really important that theists, please don't, especially if you're fundamentalist or you're very right-wing or conservative, you have got to wake up and smell the roses, guys. Because enforcing your beliefs has not made the world better. Okay, just saying. Okay, that's it.